Hello Internet, and welcome back to the second episode of Horror Talk. You might know my newest guest from any number of things, from Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, The Flash, Rabid, Channel Zero, whole bunch of things. Please welcome Troy James, Twisty Troy.
Hi everyone.
Hello. So thanks for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Of course. Thanks for having me, Lee.
Of course, man. I mean, you know, we've had an interesting friendship since Channel Zero, so I figured it was time I got to interview you. So I'm just gonna kind of get right into it. You had an interesting start in terms of acting, because you started in HR, is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Regular, boring old life in HR.
Right, and now you play a ton of really memorable characters in all sorts of genres, and like, how did that transition happen? Did you start auditioning? Did people start approaching you for your Bendy talents? How did that work?
It all kind of happened at once. It all started with a viral video, just the 30-second video of me in the office, and the friend said, "Hey, show me something cool," and became a noodle for a little bit. But then it went all over the internet. My friends are messaging me saying, "Hey, you're on Twitter and Reddit and 9gag and Unilad," all of those viral AdGet sites. And then America's Got Talent reached out, and Steve Harvey reached out. I got to travel to New York. I got to go to Los Angeles and perform, which was really strange because I'm not an actor, not a performer, or I should say I wasn't. Right. And it all happened really, really fast. And one thing led to another. I guess people saw me on America's Got Talent, and directors thought, "Hey, this guy looks like a cool, scary monster dude. If you slap a suit on him, let's see what we can do." And that led to Channel Zero and The Flash.
Awesome, awesome. And so you're a fairly prolific and talented contortionist. How did you discover that you're just, like, able to do those things? Did you just, like, when did you discover you were so bendy? I
was born flexible, so I actually thought everyone could move the same way I could. Didn't realize it was weird until the other kids in daycare let me know in no uncertain terms that, yes, in fact, it was weird, and no, you can't sit here because you're weird. So I quickly realized, well, maybe this is... I actually thought it wasn't a good thing. I was so embarrassed, and I didn't show anyone after that terrible bullying when I was younger until high school. And then being flexible became cool again because it was a weird, unique talent that I could show off.
Yeah, no, you gotta own that shit, man. That's awesome. So, I mean, people have seen you as, like, a variety of great characters, from, like, you know, bit parts in The Void and Rabid to, like, bigger things, you know, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, The Flash, Channel Zero. Do you have a favorite character you've played?
Well, I like a whole bunch for different reasons. I like Pretzel Jack because he's most like me as a person. He's just this goofy, childish clown who doesn't know anything, which I feel like sometimes. Doesn't know much of anything except trying to protect the ones he cares about, and loves his friends fiercely. No.
That's why he's the best boy.
He was so precious. I'm glad that people liked him.
Oh, he was very, very widely accepted, I've found.
That makes me feel happy. Playing a supervillain, though, was also kind of neat. There's something there that you don't get every day.
Oh, sure.
Going up against the Flash himself, living in the superhero universe, and getting to use my powers for evil, that was new and exciting. Baba Yaga was particularly fun in Hellboy.
Yeah, you did get to kiss David Harbour right on the mouth.
Yes, he tasted like cigarettes and coffee. And everyone said, "Oh, don't worry about it. Just pretend it's like you're in high school again. You have no idea how to kiss anyone." And I didn't let production know that I, in fact, didn't know how to kiss anyone. It wasn't a place I had very much experience. But yeah, we went for it, and it was as awkward and gross as it appeared on screen.
Nice.
The worst part is they made us do that multiple times. Like,
oh,
grosser.
Yeah.
No, even more gross, more slime. And yeah.
Love it. I love it. I remember seeing that in the theater, and I was like, hey, I know that guy. He's kissing David Harbour on the mouth. Cool.
I was nervous because he's like a big celebrity guy, and I was like, well,
Well, so are you now, man.
Okay, I'm an actor. I just have to act like I can do this. But is this okay? Like in HR, this would very much be a complaint that would take up the rest of my day. Like, you can't just do this.
Hey, I mean, that's big, huge difference. But so you've become a prolific actor in horror, and I mean, was it a genre you were a fan of before you started it, or was it something you kind of got thrown into?
Yes and no. I was terribly traumatized by Candyman when I was young. It was the movie all the adults sat down and watched, and they said, Troy, you got to go upstairs and go to bed, because this is not a kid's movie. And I was smart. I'll show them. Came downstairs at 2 a.m. to watch Candyman by only the light of the television, which meant I couldn't turn off the TV because then I was in the dark, pitch black,
right.
And Candyman would get me. So I watched, traumatized, and frozen until the very end when the static on the VCR came up and had to dash upstairs to my bedroom. Of course, everybody knew what happened the next day because I was petrified. They knew.
Right.
So yeah, me and horror have a bit of a rocky history, but now I can't get enough of it. Getting to work in it and seeing all the cool actors, all the cool monster creature work, all the practical effects, now I devour it and can't get enough.
Hell yeah. I mean, that kind of answered my next question too, which I was going to say, what was the first horror? Was that the first horror movie you've ever seen, or?
I would say so. I was
the first of note, anyway. Right. Okay. Do you have a top 5?
Ooh, let's see. Huh. I might have that problem where I like movies that other people don't like, or that I like, just are too mainstream.
Own it. Say whatever you love.
Okay. Well, let's see. It follows got under my skin a little bit, just because I was in Winnipeg. I was filming Channel Zero, but the previous season, so not Pretzel Jack, but Butcher's Block. And I was all alone in this house in a neighborhood I wasn't familiar with, and I started to watch It Follows, and everything just got really weird and creepy after that. Okay, so that'd be one.
I'm just gonna say, while you think, bless you for choosing It Follows. Favorite horror movie of all time. You have good taste.
Well, I got to work with Olivia. Well,
yes.
From
yes, you did. For Butcher's Block.
We were on Channel Zero, and she was in It Follows. So surprise, surprise! Look at that.
You got a connection to the best movie.
I did like. Okay, maybe I'm just playing favorites now, but the Autopsy of Jane Doe was also one I really, really liked.
Excellent choice.
But notice, full disclosure, I did work with the director Andre Overdahl on Scary Stories.
That movie scared the hell out of me.
It was a good movie regardless, so I'm putting it on the list.
It really freaked me out. I don't get scared by many things. Autopsy of Jane Doe genuinely creeped me out.
It was... I could really put myself in this... Like, it was shot in essentially one small room.
Yeah.
And the more you think about it, the more it just really unsettles you. He shot it so well.
He's fantastic.
I can't wait to watch everything and anything he does forever.
Oh, same. I'm on the train at this point.
The last one that comes to mind, at least the top 5, I can only think of 3 at the moment.
3 is fine.
I'm sure after listening to it. The Witch. I did like The Witch.
You have good taste. These are all great movies.
Okay.
All fantastic. Much respect. So recently, as at least the most recent project I've seen you in that's come out, you were working with the Suska sisters for Rabbit on like in a small part, and I mean you got to showcase the weird penis armpit tentacle in a cool way. So like, how was that working with Jen and Sylvia? What was that like?
Oh, they are just such cool people. Like, I was intimidated by how cool they were when I first met them. They were like, "Oh, we're so excited to work with you," and all I could think of was like, "You are really, really smart, and you know your stuff," and like, I'm more than gonna ruin this. Like, it was like the 2 cool people in high school inviting you to sit with them, and you just can't get over how badly you're gonna mess up when they realize you're not as cool as they are. But no, working with them was such a treat, such a pleasure. They are amazing, amazing women, and I hope I get to work with them again sometime.
They're such sweethearts too, the 2 of them. They're like the nicest people I've ever met.
Yes, I know.
It's insane.
They're cool, but they're also nice. They're like the best of both.
Like the first time I met them, I think like between the 2 of them, I got like 8 separate hugs. because they're such huggy people, and I'm like, this is lovely. I feel so welcome.
Yeah. And you can't mention the Sussex without mentioning Tristan Risk as well.
Yes.
She is so, again, like, I wish I could have better adjectives here, but they're just so cool and nice and amazing to be around. I would just want to spend all my time with them.
Yeah, no, they're really, really great. So we're gonna backtrack a little bit because you were talking about scary stories. So I do want to talk about scary stories a little bit. The character you played, the Jangly Man, is like the only really like or fully like not fully original, but like the only real original monster in the movie. It's like a hybrid of a whole bunch of other things. And so, was that part written with like a contortionist in mind, or is that something that came about when you were cast? And like, how much of the character did you bring to that role?
I'm pretty sure the Jangly Man was meant for like his style of locomotion. It was something I was bringing to the table, and I said, okay, this is how he's going to move. And they were all on board. Yes, this is exactly how Jangly Man's going to move. At first, he had multiple appendages, so he had maybe 3 arms, 2 legs, and all the concept art. But that would have been a bit difficult to do practically without looking like a floppy rubber arm or leg walking around.
Right.
It really did work best entirely with my body, and bringing that physicality to Jangly Man was something I hope I got across while on screen.
I think you did. And I mean, so that actually, I was going to bring up the practical effects of it, because I mean, I'm pretty sure, I know I saw like, the pictures you've posted of like you in the makeup and like the full body suit. And I know there was some CGI overlay there, but like,
the CGI was mainly because the Jangly Man talks and blinks.
Right, it was to animate the face.
Masks I wore were static, so yeah, they added a bit of that and a bit of texturing as well.
Okay, and and aside from that, it was just you doing your thing, right?
Yep.
Love it, love it. So moving right along here, going to talk a bit about the Flash, because for those of y'all who don't know, Troy has been on The Flash several times playing the villain Ragdoll. And first of all, I love that show a lot. Been a fan since before I knew you, and now to like, watch it, I'm like, hey, it's my friend. I know that man. But I mean, so there's like, the Flash has so many great like villains in his rogues gallery. So I mean, like to take on that part, how did that feel to become like a part of that, like to become Ragdoll?
I never ever would have imagined that I'd be able to enter the superhero universe, the supervillain universe, and it was. I was worried because it's a big show. It has crazy fans, like good crazy fans. But I felt like, okay, if I mess this up, like you don't mess with a comic book fan's character, and I thought, okay, well, can I do Ragdoll justice? And I think I did. There were some people who were really squicked out by it because they went in a really creepy direction with him that you don't normally see from the other Flash villains.
Right. Yeah, his stuff is generally a lot more like horror oriented, which I mean, it's fitting, but like, yeah.
There were some complaints. I got some parent complaints that said, I watched The Flash with my kids, and you gave them nightmares. They wouldn't sleep in their own beds. This is unacceptable. It's a PG-13 show. It's family friendly.
That just means you're doing your job right.
Sorry.
It just means you're doing a good job, man. Don't apologize.
Maybe you got a Halloween episode coming up. We'll see.
That would be awesome.
Time there, though. The cast is so friendly and so funny. Grant and Candace, Barry and Iris are they're hilarious.
Tom Cavanaugh
is he even real? How he improvises like that? He's a genius. He's an utter genius.
He's on another level, man. Like he's just out of his mind. Like how many different versions of the same character has he played? How many is he going to play? It's insane. He's got
to be really, really good to pull that off. And he
does
every single time.
And he makes every single one of them feel different. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, working on a show like The Flash, it's a CW show with a specific budget and shoots week to week, and I'd imagine that's different than shooting shows like Channel Zero or big budget movies like Scary Stories. What was that like?
Well, The Flash knows what they're doing. They've been on for, I think they're on their 5th, 6th season now.
6th, I think, yeah.
They pump episodes out like within a week, 8 days.
Right.
They've got it down to a science. And Channel Zero was interesting because I was still I even still think of myself as new, but I was especially new. And so I got there and I was hoping that they would tell me, you know, okay, coming from a corporate perspective, give me task A, B, and C, and I will perform them to the best of my ability.
Right.
But director Evan Katz believed in me for some reason, somehow. So he would just say, like, yeah, do the thing. You got this. I believe in you. What would Pretzel Jack do? Do it. And that petrified me. I was like, no, you have to tell me exactly what to do and how to do it. But he gave me this creative freedom that I kind of, I don't know, it came out of me somehow. And that's where you get the little nuances that Pretzel Jack has that I think kind of makes you fall in love with him a little bit.
I was going to say, those are the things that definitely make him, like, very, very lovable, and I think that's the things that made everybody really, like, attached to him. Just, like, the little things, the little squeaky arms, yeah.
There was a particular scene where right after I commit my first murder,
right,
I'm just supposed to kind of, you know, do a little dance, cheer Jillian up, and then vacate. And I remember for one take, I just kind of threw my arms up into the air and walked out. And my hand hit the the door frame, and everyone burst out laughing. And yeah, that made it in. We kept that.
That was the thing that because I remember they released the first episode of Dream Door, like, early to get people, I guess, like, on board. And I remember, like, getting to that final scene and just being like, this is insane. And then that exit happens. I was like, that was the best way to end this episode possible. Like, that was so good.
Right to credits, just like
it's so good.
It was, yeah, we liked that.
Oh, it was that was I mean, I think you really, like, hit the nail on the head. That is those little things are the thing that make everybody, like, kind of really love Pretzel Jack, and it's just fun. It's just such a fun character.
Well, going off of that, I just ended up having more and more fun with him, just because when do you get to play a kooky, crazy, flexible killer clown? Right? Almost like anything goes, and it's all for Jillian, so it's just this big show, and he's just trying to make her happy, flailing his arms and just being ridiculous. And it's kind of weird when you have an adult clown doing that and killing people to make your problems go away.
That's what makes it more fun, though.
Yeah, oh, for sure. This guy is my special little guy.
I love that so much, and I want one so bad.
It is my prized possession. It's
so good. I love it. So, like, people, I know, like, you know, most people who've watched Channel Zero do know you as Pretzel Jack. I don't know if everybody knows that you were also, like, the weird spider schizophrenia demon in Butcher's Block, though.
Right.
So, is that kind of what you were touching on before? Did Nick Antosca and crew just approach you for that based on that viral video, or was it like...
this is an interesting one. So, before Channel Zero, I did Shadowhunters. And it turns out the director of Shadowhunters, yes, the Mortal Instruments, had a small role as a crazy evil demon on that show. And the director of that, it turns out we went to high school together. She was Amanda Rowe. She was a grade higher than I was. And she reached out and said, hey, like, this is amazing. I saw this video. You're doing great. Be on my show. I did that. And she knew Nick Antosca. So when it came time to cast for Father Time, she put in a good word for me, and that's how he discovered me. And I think I did that schizophrenia monster Father Time, scuttling Father Time, so well that they said we've got to bring him back for PJ, for Pretzel Jack.
Oh yeah, I mean, like, there wasn't any other option, in my opinion. Like, that's just, it's such a memory, because I mean, like, the Spider Father Time from Butcher's Block is, like, only in, like, one episode, right?
Yeah, one episode, you see her, you're like, did that even really happen? And
right.
She's on these crazy meds, and then this crazy spider demon appears out of nowhere and chases her down the hall and down the stairs.
Right. And I mean, I remember seeing that and just being like, what is, like, that was around the point when I started, like, I mean, Butcher's Block is actually, I think, my favorite season of the whole show. But I mean, it was all those really insane, like, David Lynchian, like, just crazy things happening throughout that whole season.
For sure.
Yeah. Oh my god. And, like, even, like, the season finale of that season was so, like, you could see all of the influences from, like, just heavy Twin Peaks influences in there, and I was like, I'm here for this, because I'm a diehard Twin Peaks fan. So, like, that, if anybody here hasn't watched Channel Zero, watch Butcher's Block, especially if you're a fan of Twin Peaks. Like, please, it's so good.
I loved the imagery for that one. The red, the blood. They had
so good.
A real amazing theme going on.
Yeah, I mean, just like the sheer like Lovecraftian horror of like the weird pestilent god thing. Like it was so fantastic. I really loved that. I don't know. I adore that season. I adored every season of Channel Zero though.
The Channel Zero's gone.
I'm still upset about it. I've been like holding on to hope that Shudder will revive it, but like I feel like that the boat's starting to have sailed at this point. Man, Sci-Fi didn't know what they had.
There were so many more stories that Nick had that was just yearning to be told.
He was planning on doing the Left and Right game, and I was like,
I know.
I want that so bad because that's one of the best stories I've ever read on No Sleep. Yep. Hands down. Like
I had that in mind, and the Russian Sleep Experiment too.
Oh, that would have been so good. But I know now they are turning the Left Right game into an audio drama starring Tessa Thompson, so that'll be interesting.
Oh, okay, keep an eye out for that.
But okay, so we're on the Channel Zero. On the Channel Zero train.
Channel Zero hype train.
Yeah, seriously. Like, what? How much like makeup and prep work went into turning you into like the Father Time or PJ or any of those? Like, how much time went into that transformation?
It took quite some time. We got faster as the time went by, but whenever you're talking prosthetics like that, it was a full-on cowl, face piece. Pretzel Jack in particular had about 6 different looks or phases because you see him when he's got the blood in his face, when he got shot, when he's got the creepy white blood that we saw from No One House coming down his face, the bullets. So it was always pretty lengthy. I would say 3 hours just getting in to makeup. Okay, yeah, that sounds about right. I mean, like, yeah, that's like, I mean, I had that we had that experience with Lilith with getting Savannah to make. It was like a 6-hour process. It was just, it's insane. Yeah, it's nuts. But can't wait to see that myself. Hey, man, I'll send you a screener copy. So, I mean, as I've said, Pretzel Jack is literally the best boy, and the reason you and I became like the reason you and I started talking, becoming like pals. And I mean, pretty much everyone loved the character, and personality-wise, I think, like you said, like he's closest to you aside from the homicidal tendencies, to my knowledge. So I mean, like, again, like how much of that was in the writing, and how much of that was just you bringing that playfulness to the character? A lot of it. Well, my thanks to Evan Katz for this, because in the script, a lot of times it would just say, Pretzel Jack does a thing. And it was up to me to determine how am I going to move from point A to point B without talking and still getting the essence of Pretzel Jack across. Right. And I remember at the beginning wishing I had an actor or drama background and desperately begging Nick or Evan to tell me what to do. And then I had to stop because it's like, okay, I'm going to start pestering Evan. He's going to get mad at me. He's got a ton of other things on his plate as a director. So fake it till you make it. What would Pretzel Jack do here? And what I just kept coming back to was PJ's almost like a little puppy. He just wants to make Jill happy and proud and make her problems go away. So how would he do that as a performance artist, as a clown? He dances, he wiggles, and he stabs. Yeah. He crawls into her therapist's office and flops around like a fish. Of course. That one was... We did the take, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna crawl through the window, and then it ended up doing breakdancing worm kind of stuff. There's no way this is going to fly, but for that one particular scene, it did, because it was just so ridiculous, and the camera kept flopping back to the therapist, Jill, and Tom, just like, what the heck is happening right now? Right. And he's just like, yep, I'm here. That was another one of the scenes where I was like, this is just so insane. I love this. I love this character. I mean, like, that's why I was tweeting so much about Dream Door. I was like, this is just amazing. Like, I love this. I remember just watching, like, the whole thing, like, night after night, just, like, because they were putting him out one day at a time, and I was just like... It was so much fun. It was the role I got to have fun with the most, because... You're a killer clown. You're already ridiculous. So exactly. You don't take yourself that seriously, which just lends itself to an innate sort of playfulness. Right. I was playing around all the time. I was constantly joking around with all the cast, spooking them, scaring them.
That are you like, you know, we've been on the same wavelength for a while, because I was just about to ask you. I was gonna say, like, you, based on your Instagram and like things you post, like you're a bit of a prankster.
Yes. It's because, you know, okay, well, for example, on The Flash, the first scene where I interact with Barry himself,
Right.
they didn't tell him that I was super flexible like that. So
Oh, really?
no. So the first time you see me, I'm just kind of contorted on the floor, and I pop up and crawl to him, and he's tied to a chair, and he was just like, "What the heck? You didn't say that is not a normal thing to do." What is happening right now? Another episode, we were forming a little rogue gang, and there was Weather Witch there.
Yeah.
We didn't tell her the same, so I come out of this box and crawled to her, and she ran away. We had to retake the scene. So a lot of times I find myself kind of getting a little reaction of the actors, either that is too real, or it's either great because you can't fake that, you can't make that, or they break character with the swear words, or they jump out and we got to redo it. But it's always fun.
I've never seen anyone do that weird, like, is it like a tiger walk? I don't know whatever it is. You turn your head up, you flip your limbs upside down.
Yes. The backwards walk, the crab walk, the spider walk, the exorcist walk, I've got it all.
Yeah, that.
And I would, like, there are people who can do it, but what I've found, at least for me, is that I'm really comfortable while doing it. So I can move much more quickly than you would expect. I'm a bit more agile, dexterous than others, so I can go up and down stairs, open and close doors, jump at you if I need to, and the jump always gets people. The crazy running doesn't, where they're like, "Oh, that's pretty cool," but I've still got my nerves. The jump, I find, always gets some form of reaction.
I think the jump is just like, you're not expecting a human body to move that way. Like, you're like, oh, his arms are backwards right now. He shouldn't be able to move in that fashion. It's very, like, it's unnerving, but it's so cool at the same time.
Much less that quickly. There are kind of two main responses. One is absolutely not, get away from me, get the raid, kill it, burn it with fire. Or that is actually really cool, and I'm spellbound, and I want to watch more. This is really interesting. So I used to do that at a theme park just around Halloween to scare people, and everyone got worried because, you know, they'd say they're going to kick you or they're going to hurt you. But no, I always have this kind of magical barrier of that's either really cool or I'm running as far away from you as I can. Right.
So is there a specific favorite, like, you know, freak out or prank you've pulled, or is it just like, is it kind of what you were just talking about with Grant?
Similar. Well, there's that. There's also the people call it many different things. There's a collapse I do, which kind of I'm standing, and all of a sudden I'm on the floor. That people also don't expect, because it looks like every bone just disappeared. You have no bones anymore, and now you're on the floor. How?
You're just like a crumpled heap. Yeah, like it's.
So I can do that quite suddenly. I might do it right in front of you. I might be walking, and then just whoop, there he is. And it's fun. It's fun after you get used to it. But the first time you see it, you're just like, what?
Is he okay?
I don't even react to this. That's a fun one.
Oh man, we gotta work together, man. we gotta work together on something. So, as far as Channel Zero goes, I mean, do you have a favorite moment from your time on Channel Zero? Be it like an on-set story or just like a scene in an episode? Because I mean, like, for me, I have one that definitely comes to mind.
Okay.
But I'm curious what. I want to know what you have to say first. I'm curious. You're my guest.
I have a couple. I really enjoyed the hot tub scene. Not the hot tub, the sensory deprivation tank scene.
Right, yeah.
Coming out of that, just like the way it was shot, leaning over the camera with the crazy blood coming down. And then the actual fight with Tom was really neat. There's a football tackle that they wouldn't let me do. My stunt double had to do it because they were worried about me hurting myself. But no, his name is Jake. He's awesome. And he can really tackle someone. But after that, we're struggling with the knife, and then he gets the better of me, and I have to kind of contort my way back up and get my way to him. And I think after we shot that, there was a round of applause because that just looked really, really grimy, really, really gross, like not human at all.
Yeah.
That was particularly fun. And then just any scene I had with Jill, because
Right.
Jill has Maria. Maria is an incredibly talented actress, Maria Stan. And every scene she's in just lights up the room. And so anytime we got to interact, it was just perfect. There's a scene where she finally realizes who I am, and we meet. We kind of mirror each other, we mirror our actions, and then I give her a big hug. And that was something really special.
That was the scene I was actually going to say is like my favorite from all of Dream Door. I mean, like that scene is so like weirdly emotional and powerful, and it's like
Maria's favorite scene as well, by the way. So you have good taste.
It's like because it's beautiful. It's like it's horrifying, but it's also really sweet and like I don't know something about that. And I was like, and then the episode just ends with that, and I was like, that's really really nice. I love that.
I'm wondering if that's the point at which people flipped around, because after the first episode, people were petrified of Pretzel Jack, and I got worried because I know there's a big plot twist, and I thought, well, will they feel bait and switched that the evil guy wasn't actually the evil guy? But no, you just kind of get endeared to him, and you're rooting for him the whole time. I remember when Pretzel Jack perishes the first time, people are messaging me saying, he better come back. This is unacceptable. I love him.
Yeah, I mean, that was my thought on it as well. I was like, damn, there's still 2 episodes left. How are we going to deal with this?
I come back only to get chainsawed
Oh,
to death, and that hurt.
That one hurt me. That one was upsetting. And that kind of brings me to my last, question regarding that. Because, I mean, like, we have to say, goodbye to our dear Bendy boy. And, like, was there a version of it that it didn't happen that way? Either with him helping kill... I can't think of Jill's brother's name.
Ian.
Ian, yes, thank you.
He's a cool guy. I got to spend some time with him in New York when Channel Zero came out. And we were playing video games, but also fielding all of this attention from Channel Zero coming out.
Yeah, so I mean, was there a version of the ending that, like, ended with either, like, PJ helping kill Ian or him helping raise the baby? Because that's the one I wanted. I wanted,
in my head, I have a personal canon of, like, if I could even just, like, rewrite the last scene, it's where Tom and Jill are in bed, you hear the baby crying, and, Tom's like, it's your turn. And then Jill's like, well, actually... And then the baby stops crying, because it turns out Pretzel Jack is giving the baby, like, I don't know, a rodeo ride, running around upside down, or like peering out of his crib, something wonderful like that. But I think actually, I don't know if I've done any revisions, but I think the story did have to end with, when you get older, you put your toys away. And
True.
The story is really about Jill and Tom putting their marital problems behind them and growing as people.
That's
and
true.
Not having to have an imaginary friend to solve your problems. So I see why it was the way.
No, I do too. I just, like, at the same, like, you and I are on the same wavelength, because I wanted it to be like, the baby starts crying, and then, surprise, PJ's there taking care of the kid, and I was like, that would have been, that's also how I would have rewritten it. Either that, or, like, the baby creates a door of its own, and then, like,
yeah, the baby did create a door of its own. It was tiny, but, like,
right.
I know, I think PJ...
It's baby PJ behind the door, like baby Yoda.
Could you imagine?
He looks like your little doll. There he is. There's baby PJ. I love it. I'm so here for it. But I mean, yeah, that's pretty much all the questions I had. I mean, I was just you're a really talented dude. I really appreciate you coming on.
Oh, thank you.
It's nice to actually finally speak face to face.
Of course. And I'm gonna go and think of all the ways I did terribly at this interview.
Dude, I promise you did not. You did a great job. And I mean, yeah. So is there anything you want to promote real quick? Anything you got coming up? It's like hot ones.
It's always weird because I never know what I'm allowed to say versus what I'm not allowed to say.
Right.
I can tell you that I just got back from both Vancouver and New Orleans. So coming back to The Flash, Ragdoll is coming back. And I shot a thriller in New Orleans where I actually get to play a human for once that looks like me. I remember for Rabbit, I was so, like, they gave me my costume, and I thought, wait a second, I don't have a wig, or I'm not an old witch, or you can see my skin, I'm black, because I'm playing characters that aren't. But I was like, where are my gloves? Where's my costume? And no, it was just me. And that's another similar one that I just finished shooting, a thriller in New Orleans. So look forward to that on Amazon Prime.
Okay.
And then I've got another big feature coming out. We're about to shoot. We're shooting now, but I shoot April, May. And I'll be able to give you more info when they tell me I can give you more info about that.
All right. I will take that. Anyway, guys, as always, thank you so much for watching. Thank you again, Troy, for coming on. I appreciate it a lot.
Thanks for having me, Lee.
If you like this channel and you want to see more and you want to see more guests, let me know who you want me to talk to down in the description. Click the link below. Like, comment, subscribe. There's a Patreon link down in the description if you want to donate to this channel, help us grow, make new, better quality content for you all to enjoy. There's a bunch of new reward tiers, anything from access to my private Discord server, to getting early access to exclusive videos like this one, to me sending gifts right to your door. If any of that interests you, please consider donating. I really appreciate it. Even $1 would help. And thank you so much for watching again, guys. I'll see you all very soon.